Hi, I'm Ray from the Radio Workshop, and this is an Ajax A25 Radiotelephone. Look at that.
Given the cuts to skilled players, comprehensive reform.
That's Radio 4 on long wave.
We've had nothing about how we raise.
Nice bit of kit. Look at that. There we are. Hello. Now this would have been used on it's a marine radio telephone. Would have been used on a fishing boat, or, not a huge ship because they had larger transmitters and things. But I've set this up on top band, the 160 meter amateur band. When I say set up, the transmitter is crystal controlled. And here in Worthing on the Sussex coast in the UK, where I am, well, in fact in Sussex here in the UK, there used to be a top band net, a 160 meter amateur band net, which was used AM and was on 1980 kilohertz, 1.98 megs. So I got a 1980 kilohertz crystal for the transmitter. The receiver's tunable, and great. There you go. All ships, all ships, all ships. This is night and radio, night and radio, night and radio. That's what used to be on here. But no, so CQ top band. Great stuff. I got this for £2. Well, actually, no, tell a lie. I bought this years ago on eBay. Chap just up the road from me, next town from me, was selling an old Pi Cambridge. Don't know whether you remember the Pi Cambridge radio telephones for mobile sort of vehicles. When I got there, I got the Pi Cambridge for a couple of pounds, and he said, "Would you want that?" Another couple of pounds. So, fair enough, not bad. I've got to do some work on it. It's all working, but I've had it in storage for a few years. I haven't used it. So I've got to do a bit of work on it. I'm going to show you some photographs in a minute of the inside. So yeah, what does it cover? It covers 1.6 to 4 megs. This is the receiver, as I say, the transmitter's crystal controlled. Then you've got medium wave, 600 kilohertz to 1600. So yeah, 0.6 to 1.6 megs medium wave, and then long wave. Which is 160 kcs to 400, so you've got 200 kcs long wave there. There's also, you can have on receive, you've got crystal controlled positions as well. So for example, say night and radio on 2182, you call him, this is in the early days of the trawler band and all that, you call night and radio on 2182, he would say go to channel, 22. So you'd switch your crystal control here on, say, channel 22. So you're transmitting on, say, 2.2 megs. He's transmitting on 1.7 megs. So it's like duplex, but not full duplex, because you still got to, you've got to listen or receive. You can't both talk and listen at the same time, like an ordinary telephone. So yeah, a nice bit of gear. As I say, I've got one crystal for transmit on 1980 kilohertz. Anyway, let's have a look at some pictures of the inside of this. I'll show you what's what inside. Oh, by the way, it's hybrid, which for those of you who don't know, that means the transistors and valves. The receiver's all transistor. The transmitter is transistor, except for the driver valve and the transmitter PA valve. There, valves there. The valve is, what is it? Is it a 1625? Looks like an 807. I forget the valve now. The PA. A25 presumably means 25 watts, but I doubt you get that out of this. 12 volts. There we are. Big 12 volt lead. I can hear Radio 4 in here. Perhaps I can join in. Yeah, nice piece of kit. So let's have a look inside. Right, this is underneath the chassis. All very neat. Quite nicely built, actually. Ajax, I believe, is a British thing. Yeah, Ajax Limited, England, it says on it somewhere, if I remember rightly. So yeah, the two aluminium plates, they cover the crystal holders. You've got a bank of receive crystals and a bank of transmit crystals there. The variable capacitor, I'll show you the top of the radio in a minute. That's That's on the transmitter side. All it says on the knob on the front is tune. Basically, it's to load the aerial. Okay, so it's part of the tank circuit. I'll show you the top in a second, but yeah, that's the underneath. Yeah, you've got I forget how many crystals there are. I think there are 11 channels. Let's have a look. Yeah, you've got there's a 2182 position, which was still is the calling and distress frequency, 2182. So all you got to do is, yeah, this is for people that aren't radio engineers. All right, these are people that own, you know, someone might have it on his yacht or his fishing boat. You know, they're not radio engineers. They don't know about loading up aerials and tuning transmitters up, that sort of thing. So they'd switch the knob to 2182 if they want to call the local Coast Guard station, and that would switch the receive crystal and the transmitter crystal. They'd be 2182. So you're listening and transmitting on the same frequency. As I said earlier, if the Coast Guard says go to channel whatever, then you'd turn your switch and you'd go to whatever channel he says. So you might be transmitting on one frequency and listening on another. He's transmitting on that other, and you're listening on, you know, whatever is listening on yours, if you see what I mean. So, you know, he's transmitting on frequency A, you're listening on A, you're transmitting on B, and he's listening on B. So as I said, it is duplex, but not full duplex. Now here you can see the driver valve and the PA valve, the RF chokes, top left there. This is the interesting bit. The tank coil for the transmitter in the middle towards the top there, that's got taps on it, you know, as they do. And what happens is the radio engineer who installs this on the boat, he would connect it all up, connect the aerial, because you can't do this in the workshop. You've got to use the aerial on the boat that the unit's going to be used with. I mean, a lot of you that know about transmitters know this anyway, but I'll just explain it. So the radio engineer installs it. The taps, you can see that the coil itself, you've got taps on it, different colour wires. So you look in the book and you're on channel, say 2182. So what you do, you load the aerial, you use the relevant tap on the tank coil, use the tune knob as well. It's not a pi, it's an L network, not a pi network. Okay, so when you switch on the front of the radio to 2182, it chooses the tap, which you then preset, if you're with me. So all the chap has got to do then, anyone's got to do, if they want to go on the calling and distress frequency, turn the knob to 2182, press the transmit button, and then the tune, they just turn it either way for maximum reading on the meter. That way the aerial is loaded properly. It's tuned properly. So that's it, and you've got a tap on that tank coil there for every band, every crystal controlled position. So obviously what I've done on the amateur band is I've used the correct tap, obviously the relevant tap for the position I've chosen on the switch, which is 1980 KC is my crystal. I've tuned it up for that. Okay, so that's it. What else is there underneath? Various bits and pieces. I don't have the manual on this. I've looked around the internet, no one seems to have got the manual, which is a bit of a shame. There's another view. There's the tank coil with its taps, one tap for each crystal controlled channel, and there's the receiver. You can see on the side there at the bottom closest to you, that's the receiver. The various IF coils, etc. It's got a BFO. So yeah, it's right. I think it must be 1960s. Yeah, rather a nice rig. So yeah, as I say, I mean, it was. I'm not going to say it was built for idiots to use, because fishermen and people that own yachts aren't all necessarily idiots. But it's a nice bit of kit, and it's basic to use. It's straightforward to use. There's nothing complicated. As I say, you don't have to be a radio engineer to use this. So there we are, Ajax A25.
You're quite a distance away, and they've got a ship.
This AM net I talked about in Sussex, it started out locally with people using things like 19 sets, homemade AM transmitters, that sort of thing, and it was great. It was great fun. What happened was, I don't know why, people drifted over to using single sideband, modern day rigs, and some of them use the modern rig on AM, but it all ended up sideband, and then the I don't know, I think the net kind of disbanded in the end, which is a shame. But what I might do, I can't load it up into this aerial. This is my sort of workshop aerial, just for radios, the receiving aerial. But I will load it up perhaps later. I just want to check over inside before I start transmitting. I'll load it up into my amateur radio aerial. I've got a wire inverted L. I'll load it up into that and perhaps get on 2 meters, find someone locally that's got to the top band capabilities, and I'll have a chat on AM to them. There's the transmit receive button on the side there, so you just press that. Yeah, rather good. Talking of Knighton radio, Knighton is down the southern point of the Isle of Wight. If you look on the map, Niton, a little village. I've been there, and in fact I don't know how well this picture will come out on the video, but have a look at this. This is a photo of what was the Knighton radio aerial. This is what they used for the trawler band, MF, medium frequency, rather than HF. So this was their MF aerial, and on the very, very top, which I think is still used today, they're not, I don't know about the actual mast itself, I don't think that's used on 2182, although I believe Knighton are on 2182 still on sideband. But on the very, very top is a VHF folded dipole for the VHF marine band. I've got VHF marine capabilities here. You've probably heard Solent Coast Guard. I mean, Knighton aren't Knighton radio anymore, it's now Solent Coast Guard, and I listen to them on VHF and various fishing boats. So there we are, that's the Knighton radio aerial. I don't talk to the local fishing boats on VHF, of course, because it's against the regulations. I wouldn't do that, would I? I wouldn't do that on here. Hello mate, how many fish you caught? What, you got any cod and chips or what? Dear. No, but I listen to Shoreham Harbour radio, Knighton radio, various other things. There's NAB pilots, which is there's the NAB tower, all Solent stuff really, and there's a local beach office down Worthing seafront here. I listen to them, and again I don't talk to them. I don't ask them, is the tide in or out, because I want to come down for a swim. Oh dear me, whatever next. So yeah, that's it. That's the Ajax A25 radio telephone. One thing I didn't mention, there's a DF aerial socket. This is the aerial, transmit and receive. There's a DF aerial socket for a DF loop, direction finding. I haven't got one, but all it would have been is like a loop aerial, perhaps with a compass bearing so you can see where you are. So you're out in the channel, the English channel, you tune into a station that you know is in Brighton, for example, so you move your loop about, maximum reading on the meter. I mean, you probably know all this. That's the maximum reading on the meter. Take your compass bearing, you know Brighton's that way then. If you want to find out where you are, tune to a station that's, say, I don't know, coming from Portsmouth, Southampton, wherever. Get your bearing on him, tune for maximum there, get your compass bearing, then on your chart where the 2 lines cross, that's where you are. Well, plus or minus a few hundred miles, if I did it. Happy days. There used to be, I wish I'd had this sort of thing. I used to dream about owning something like this when I was sort of 10, 11, 12 years old, especially early teens, because I used to listen to the trawler band, which was kind of 1.7 to 3 megs, more than that, and it was so busy, because where I am on the coast here, I've got Portsmouth, Southampton, Shoreham Harbour. That's quite a busy port, Shoreham Harbour. That's only 5 miles up the road, a bit more than that, probably 6, I don't know. New Haven, Dover, it really is busy. I think the English Channel used to be, or probably still is, the busiest shipping lane in the world. So there we are. If I'd had one of these when I was a kid, I'd have been chatting. I did used to talk to the local fishermen. They were fine about it. They were fine. Even on VHF, I used to chat to them. You're not allowed to, but no one's bothered. To say what fish you caught today, that sort of thing. And they knew I was sort of land-based and not rocking around. And was it the boat that rocked the ocean or something? So there we are. I've noticed this Perspex cover here, this sort of Perspex has been pushed in during storage, I suspect. Okay, not to worry. I think that's it. I've waffled enough. I'll let you go and have a coffee. Actually, that's what I need. Thanks for watching the video. Look out for the next one. Bye bye.